everyone, and welcome back to another video. I, as always, am Grestar, and this is another reaction to a death battle, SpongeBob versus Aquaman. As always, the link is in the description below to go to the official release first, watch that, all the good stuff, then come back here and we'll watch it together. Yes, I know this isn't the first episode of this season, but I figured since I'm on this season now, I can kind of just jump around a little bit, and I saw that it was SpongeBob, and frankly, I'm gonna do what I want. So enjoy. Yeah, so I'm excited for this one because I am a fan of SpongeBob, and I immediately do want to clarify, I mostly know like the older stuff. I really haven't seen any new episodes for actual years. But you know, I grew up watching SpongeBob, like the first 4 seasons, I want to say. I don't know for sure, but you know, the old SpongeBob. And yeah, I'm a fan. And so I was really curious when I heard that he was in a death battle, especially when he was going up against Aquaman. Like, they have to have a Mermaid Man reference at some point in this fight. They just have to. But yeah, so I wanted to jump to this. I don't know a lot about Aquaman, and I have no idea, of course, about like the later, you know, seasons of SpongeBob either. But based upon what little I do know, right now I'm actually leaning towards SpongeBob winning. Which was not my first thought, but just as I thought about it more, it's like, I think he does have the advantage. Especially because it seems like they're only taking Aquaman from Super Friends. Like, if you look at just like the title of this death battle, it's like SpongeBob parentheses Nicktoons Aquaman parentheses Super Friends, not DC, but Super Friends, which I think was a specific show, wasn't it? And so it seems like they're taking Aquaman just from one source, which I find kind of weird, but I think especially because of that, I'm leaning towards SpongeBob winning, because I don't know a lot about SpongeBob's like feats of strength, but as far as like feats of durability, you know, he'll have, of course, I also want to point out that with cases of SpongeBob, you know, he can get punched and have a black eye in one episode, or he can get completely like just punched over and over again in another one, and it just tickles him. You know, it's whatever the writers want at the time for that episode that they think would be funny. But since this is a death battle, and we're taking their, you know, each combatant at their peak, I'm assuming that we're not going to pay attention to those times where he was, like, really weak. I think we're going to focus on the times where he was really strong and durable, etc. So, like, he could just take hits, and his body will just kind of, like, contort around the blow, you know? Like, you know, if he gets punched from behind, like, he'll, like, bulge briefly, kind of thing, from the chest. There have been times where he was, like, completely shredded, and he was still able to think and speak, and then he was just, like, constituted again like the next moment. He's like, he can eat his own arms and they just come back. You know, he could be diced up and he'll just piece himself back together. So it seems like his regeneration is basically just like he can be pulverized and then still will himself back into existence. You know, just a very like Toon Force heavy sort of character. Again, I don't know his feats of strength really. I know that he could, like, you know, lift like a giant pitcher of water with one arm. You know, this is an extreme thirst. I know he could just like go over and lift up Patrick's stone house. You know, he's done various things in little gags that do show him being strong. And of course, he also has the times where like he can't lift 2 marshmallows on a stick. But we're going with the strong feats because death battle. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the new episodes actually gave him in terms of strength. But as for Aquaman, I have no real idea. I mean, I have a general idea of Aquaman just because, like, he's been in a death battle before and everyone kind of knows Aquaman. But of course, there's a bunch of stuff that you wouldn't know if you didn't actually, like, read his comics. But since this is Super Friends specifically, like, I don't think I've probably seen, like, a couple episodes of that show or whatever, but I could not tell you anything about this particular Aquaman, so I have no idea what we're up against. I'm just certain that this is... You know, I say that, and then I immediately doubt myself, because there are things like, you know, He-Man and She-Ra, where it's like that old kind of campy cartoon where they're, like, at their most powerful, it seems. But I don't think this is Aquaman's most powerful, like, form. I don't think it's the most powerful version of Aquaman that we have, and since we're only looking at that one, even though I don't have a lot to work with, I'm just leaning towards SpongeBob. But yes, if you couldn't tell, I am excited for this. I'm totally rooting for my boy SpongeBob. So with that, let's get to watching. So here we go for the death battle, SpongeBob versus Aquaman. Take it away.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Heck yeah.
#1 nautical nincompoop.
Aquaman, the classic third wheel of the Super Friends.
Ah, yes.
Classic means ocean. I looked it up.
The infinite
well done.
depths of the 7 seas are home to any number of terrifying, awe-inspiring creatures.
You're also home to these 2 losers. Though when it comes to cartoon characters, there's always
Poor
more hidden
Aquaman.
beneath the waves. That's right, we're prioritizing the cartoons for maximum Toon Force shenanigans. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And
Yeah,
it's
so
our
I mean,
job to
if this
utilize our
Aquaman
weapons,
also has a
armor,
bunch
and
of Toon
skills to
Force
find out who
shenanigans,
would
like,
win
I'm unaware of
a
it.
death battle.
Yeah, because I know it's a cartoon, obviously, but I
The
thought it was
year
one of those more serious kinds of
1946.
cartoons.
The
typically
former
speaking.
allies of World War II were engaged in a Cold War between capitalist West and communist
Are they
East.
giving
The
the
United States
the origin of
changed
Bikini
history
Bottom?
forever with the introduction of the atomic bomb, a weapon of unparalleled nuclear devastation.
Because I don't know,
One of
I don't
their
think that
most
was ever
popular
confirmed
test
as
plots,
canon,
the site
right?
of 23 separate detonations over the
I've
course
definitely
of
seen it as a
12 years
theory
for a
that it was
total
like the
fission yield of
radiation that made
42.2
the inhabitants of
megatons.
Bikini Bottom,
Was
you know, what they
Bikini
are.
Atoll in the middle of the
who
Pacific
knows?
Ocean.
The results were ecological devastation and perhaps something more. Deep beneath the atoll, the fauna began to change. They
Oh.
evolved, becoming sentient, forming language, technology, and society. This
Good for them.
Bikini Bottom organized into a monarchy under the god King Neptune. It developed a free market economy and a thriving artistic
Oh, this
culture.
origin is
Even
just
the
one theory,
simplest
okay.
Underwater creatures became
Cool.
capable of complex thought, including the very first multicellular organism to be categorized as part of the animal kingdom.
Interesting they
the
went so
sea
hard on
sponge.
that then in the
And
intro.
one sponge in particular, the greatest among them, lives in a pineapple under the sea.
Yay!
SpongeBob SquarePants.
No, I wanted to sing the song.
I don't know about greatest.
Poor Boomstick.
SpongeBob may headline one of the most popular children's cartoons of all time, but he's a total dork.
He is.
He's a painfully
100%.
naive man-child whose only ambition in life is to continue his minimum wage job as a fry cook at the Krusty Krab.
Really sounding like a Squidward there, Wiz. And no one wants to be a Squidward.
No one wants to
SpongeBob
be a
might not
Squidward, but
have
everyone
the flash
finds
in his life,
themselves
but he's
becoming
happy.
Squidward as they
And
get
that's
older.
what matters, ain't it?
Not in Death Battle, it doesn't. SpongeBob is routinely physically incapable of even the most basic tasks. Almost like
Breaks his fingers,
anti-Doom
yeah.
Force. He's the biggest wimp in town, like the time he failed to lift a glass of lemonade, or the time a school bully gave him diarrhea, or the time he effortlessly
Like, he was
rotated
nervous.
the entire planet. Huh.
Oh, we're in for some shit now.
Yeah, that's
aren't
the thing,
we?
that's the
Despite
thing.
being a
He goes
real
so back
sea
and forth.
creature, SpongeBob is more like a kitchen sponge. Absorbent and yellow and porous is he after all. He can stretch and shapeshift his body any way he likes, duplicate himself through asexual reproduction, and absorb immense amounts of liquid. Wouldn't he always be full, though?
From an entire
Yeah,
lagoon
that's-
to,
Don't worry about
oh
it.
god, enough water to replace the moon?
Oh, and for some reason he has
See,
an
I didn't know about
insane
that.
healing factor. He survived being torn in half, vaporized, having
Yep.
his soul removed from his body, and literally being unraveled out of existence. Okay, I think we're good. We can just end the rundown here.
No. I need to see how deep this rabbit hole goes. Perhaps his most mind-bending ability is his control over bubbles. No, stay with me. This is unbelievable. Like
I'm
a
here.
soapy Green Lantern ring, his bubbles can become anything he wishes, from guided cruise missiles to sentient life and
I didn't
entire
even
bubble
think about them
societies.
pulling from the
That's
games.
a pretty similar effect to his magic pencil, which
Yeah,
can
we
draw
created
anything
Doodle
he
Bob.
wants into existence and erase it from reality just as easily. The pencil was so powerful,
Boomstick, what are you
SpongeBob
doing?
sent it back to the surface where it belonged. But in later seasons, he still just has it for some reason.
Oh, really?
Finished.
Oh.
I call him Doodle Whiz.
Oh,
Wiz.
no.
He's just like you.
Oh,
I made
no.
him with a pencil.
I'm calling the police.
Even the
Doodle Whiz might be one of my
godlike
favorites.
In SpongeBob's yellow hands, like his reef blower, which hoovered up the entirety of Earth's oceans in seconds and then exploded on top of SpongeBob all at once.
It's estimated the entire mass of Earth's oceans
Wow.
is about 1.5
I would not have thought about that
trillion
feat.
tons. Considering all the water refilled the planet in about 1 second, that'd be a kinetic energy of over 6,000 yotatons.
That's enough energy to nuke Jupiter 13 times over.
Wow.
And SpongeBob was completely unharmed.
His hydrodynamic spatula isn't just an impromptu bladed weapon, it's also his primary instrument to create the greatest foodstuff Bikini Bottom has ever seen. The Krabby Patty.
A burger so delicious, it's basically magic. Not only is it totally addictive, SpongeBob was romantically attracted to one.
Yeah.
It can nullify mind control, heal wounds, and even detonate.
SpongeBob has survived nukes point blank, hugged his best friend Patrick so hard their DNA fused, can ride on the scene transitions, and once cried so hard he flooded Bikini Bottom. even though it's
Underwater.
already
Yes.
underwater. Shit, he once grabbed a hold of this mysterious string and unraveled the entire universe. He
What?
literally undid the fabric of reality in seconds.
Huh.
What the fuck?
What was that you were saying about anti-Toon Force?
I'm sorry. I'm not sure I've ever misjudged a character as severely as SpongeBob SquarePants.
Wow.
Nice character arc there, Wiz.
Yeah, that was it.
Unfortunately
I was
for
gonna
Roberto,
say.
the rest of the town only saw the goofy goober on the outside. It took more than one
He's a
adventure
goofy goober,
to prove
yeah.
himself to be a real hero. You think he ever banged that squirrel?
He's crushed Plankton's Plan Z, won the Battle of Bikini Bottom against an army of killer robots, and even teamed up with fellow Nickelodeon stars Timmy Turner, Jimmy Neutron, and Danny Phantom to save the Nicktoons multiverse.
His biggest weakness
Cool.
is that he's a giant, suicidally naive idiot.
And depending on the humidity of the atmosphere around him, being out of the water can dehydrate and permanently incapacitate him.
Oh, also seasonal rot. Those first 3 seasons are pure gold, but after that, oh boy. There's this one episode called Squid Baby where Squidward gets brain damaged into a giant baby and shits himself on screen.
What are you talking about?
Oh, right. Trials and tribulations and Hasselhoffs aside, it wasn't until SpongeBob accepted himself for who he was that he was rewarded with the greatest boon of all. Middle management!
So if
Yay!
nautical nonsense be something you wish, then pray to your yellow porous god for mercy, because his whimsical laughter is the last thing you'll ever hear.
Cool. That was fun. I enjoyed that thoroughly.
Aquaman, King
Ah,
of the
SpongeBob's
Seven
great.
Seas.
We've covered Arthur Curry on the show before, and he's
Yes.
actually secretly awesome.
That's right, Boomstick. But the version we're dealing with today is from the bargain bin cartoons from the 60s and 70s.
Now, you might assume that means this Aquaman is a total loser, but really, have
I kinda
you
did.
watched all those cartoons?
But no, I have not
This
watched
is
all of
from
them.
the
No.
era when Superman was sneezing solar systems apart. So get ready.
Art's
Okay.
origin is basically the same as the Silver Age comics. Tom Curry was a humble lighthouse keeper who decided one day to fuck a fish.
He did not do that. He procreated with Atlanta, an Atlantean from the underwater city of Poseidonus, and from
Okay.
that union, Arthur Curry was
That's
born
different.
with
That's fair.
magnificent aquatic abilities.
And he's the king of Atlantis, too.
Oh, wait, no. It says here that was introduced in the comics later. Here is
Oh.
just some guy.
Okay.
With magnificent aquatic abilities and a giant
some
mutant
guy.
seahorse that neighs just like a land horse.
This Aquaman comes from a time when everybody who's anybody had their own secret cave with assorted gadgets. He's
Okay,
got an
fair.
underwater jet ski, a net, octopus ink, a water pistol, and a portable heat ray to blast right through solid ice. Not exactly
Wow.
mind-blowing, but, I'm sure we're ramping up.
We
It's
sure
useful.
are. Aquaman's hybrid human Atlantean biology grants him superhuman strength and the ability to breathe underwater indefinitely and withstand the crushing depths of the ocean floor.
The pressure at
And
the
the pressure
bottom
is
of the
high,
Mariana
yeah.
Trench is 16,000 pounds per square inch. That's like being stepped on by 100 elephants, which is a lot, I guess.
Aquaman is also
I mean,
an
it's never happened to me,
incredible
but I can
swimmer,
imagine.
able to travel from Florida to Maine in under an hour. That's almost twice the speed of sound. He can create
Good for
waterfalls
him.
and whirlpools out of thin water, and fittingly, water-based attacks are completely ineffective against him. And of course, you can't forget his aquatic telepathy.
He can talk to fish, and he can even control people's minds and give them seizures, right?
Oh, actually, that second part is also just from the comics.
Okay.
Cartoon Aquaman can talk to fish, which is awesome.
Nice.
His telepathy can reach several miles, summon hundreds of sea creatures at once, and works on anything from microscopic organisms to alien life, as long as it's aquatic alien life, of course.
Okay.
But he
Fair.
can still mind control them, right?
Kind of. He can free them from mind control and even influence their emotional state to some degree, but besides that, there have been times when sea creatures have just ignored his commands outright.
Well, I'm gonna be straight with you. You
Okay.
haven't said anything remotely mind-blowing yet. Does this Aquaman actually suck?
Hold your seahorses. Aquaman's exploits were so world-renowned, he banded together with Earth's mightiest heroes to form a team capable of defending the planet, nay,
Right.
the universe,
But-
from any threat. The Super Friends.
The Super Friends.
Oh.
They're like the dime store knockoff version of the Justice League.
I didn't know all of those were
No,
Super
you've got
Friends.
heavy hitters like Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman.
Keep
And-
going.
Flash, Green Lantern,
Uh-huh.
Apache Chief, Samurai, Black Vulcan, the Wonder Twins, and their pet monkey Gleek.
Wiz, stop. You're embarrassing yourself.
No, wait, his best direct strength feat was when he, moved some trash. About
Wow.
50 metric tons of it.
I mean, that would be really heavy.
Fuck.
The jokes write themselves, huh? Fun fact, Aquaman once
Was
enrolled
just like
in an
giving
American college under the name Mr. Waterman. So we're working with a pretty
Wow.
hefty IQ here, huh?
Great.
Okay, so he's lame, inarguably completely lame. I was convinced I'd find some crazy, insane Popeye punching out the animator feat somewhere.
Yeah.
No.
Is it really
He
not?
sucks. He actually sucks. His best feat is literally garbage.
I'll take over from here, Wiz. Aquaman is a bit of a joke, sure, but
Dodge
he's
laser
not
beams.
completely
There,
useless.
speed of light.
He's dodged laser beams, defeated a living Titanic,
Even
by
though he was
luring
just-
it into an iceberg. Seriously,
Running. That was
and
weird, I don't
beaten
know.
this water elemental Undyne, who looks like a gorilla for some reason,
Okay.
by summoning seagulls to pelt her with clamshells. He
Wait,
once
seagulls?
even outswam this Kryptonian
I thought it was aquatic
pterodactyl
creatures.
monster, Rokan, who flew from the edge of the galaxy to Earth in about 15 seconds.
Wait, really? Okay, now we're talking.
Okay.
That'd be over 55 billion times the speed of light. And Aquaman swimming clearly outmatched that. It doesn't matter if it looks lame.
You get one, buddy.
And hey,
So,
he can probably kick your ass.
He can
person
move
that's watching
faster
at
than
home, so
55
that's something.
billion times the speed?
Well,
55
not
times
if
the I
he's
forgot what it
on
was.
dry land. If he's out of the water for even 1 hour, he dies. Never mind.
Oh.
Person watching at home, just hide for a bit, grab some lunch, and then step on his corpse.
But is raw power really what makes someone a
How did he
hero,
attend
or is it
university
the drive
then?
to help others, to be of service, to sacrifice? That's what a hero is to me, and I'd say Aquaman's got as much of that as there are drops of water in the ocean.
He's about to die.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the weirdest death battle!
The
They
combatants
admit
are
in
set
the
with
analyses
every
that he
raw
sucks and they
possibility.
say he's about to
One.
die?
One possibility.
What?
Time
It's time for a
Aquaman's
death
funeral!
pause! They did my job for me. They did my job for me. I'm supposed to predict who's gonna win and they did my job for me. They told me that Aquaman's gonna die. What's going on? Alright, well, I think the SpongeBob's going to win this one. It seems like Aquaman has the speed advantage if he can outmatch someone who can fly like 55 billion times the speed of light, or maybe just 55 times the speed of light, but either way. But aside from that, I don't think Aquaman has anything really going for him because SpongeBob has bigger feats of strength and bigger feats of durability or survivability, however you want to word it. Because like even if you could say like, well, SpongeBob's not that durable, he's been like torn in half easily. Yeah, but then he just comes back. Like he's been erased from existence and then just works himself back because he wants to. He has completely unraveled the universe, like unraveled reality itself just by pulling on a string. Just all of the... SpongeBob is stronger, and he survives more. And so, regardless of Aquaman's speed, like, yeah, Aquaman could, like, swim super fast and punch him, and I'd assume, like, moving at that speed and then punching someone, like, it'd be a ridiculous amount of energy. But SpongeBob could just come back from that. From my understanding, he could just come back because he's SpongeBob. And so, like, the biggest question is just how would SpongeBob kill Aquaman? But, like, all he would have to do, apparently, is just suck up all of the water in the ocean, right? Just all of it, right? Just keep the water to himself and just hoard it for an hour. Yes, he would... Well, actually, if he has it inside him, he wouldn't even necessarily become incapacitated, right? But, like, he could kill Aquaman just by depriving him of the water. I mean, I don't know if Aquaman needs to be, like, completely submerged or if it is a matter between, like, fresh and salt water or something. I don't know. They didn't really say. They just said without water for an hour. So I'm sure he could find water somewhere. But, Aquaman was also able to survive the pressure of living underwater, and they did say he was, like, immune to water-based attacks, but I don't know if it would be the same thing if, like, SpongeBob were to suck up with, like, the reef blower all of the water, and then, like, you know, if you're immediately applying it, that's a lot different than just existing under that pressure. Having it all drop on you is way more, and so I don't know if they're going to count that as a water-based attack or not, but yeah. They also didn't give Aquaman, like, big durability feats, and so it's like, could SpongeBob just decapitate him with his you know, spatula? I couldn't think of the word. I was like, with his fry cook. No, that's not it. So, I don't know. But I don't think they're pulling my leg here. I think they actually are just like, yep, Aquaman's about to die. And like, I agree with them. So, a weirdest death battle. SpongeBob's going to win this one and play.
Mermaid Man? Wait a second, you're not
Okay, good.
Mermaid Man.
I'm glad they did acknowledge it.
Evildoer!
Evildoer? I'm a hero.
I saved this city! There's only one real hero here, Fiend. And he's a super friend!
Where did you even come from?
You see, sir, I'm a sea sponge, phylum porifera, and you can't just... How about a little karate?
Uh-oh. Now he's serious.
It's Aquaman! Of course! He's a sea creature! And as the king of the seas, he's mine to command!
Not command. We went over this. You can manipulate him, kind of.
I wasn't.
But even then, he has
just
Krabby
reaching out
Patties.
to you, Sponge. Let him have it, chums! Great Neptune!
Get a load of this, Seaman!
Damn it, it's
It's like Barnacle Boy struggles.
Need water powers fading. Is there nothing I could do? Amen. I see it now. A multiverse of Aquaman. And out of all of them, I'm the lamest fucking
Aww.
one! I'm a ripoff. A joke. I'm no superhero.
Aww.
People used to say the same kind of things about me. Goofball,
Yeah.
wingnut, knucklehead McSpazatron. But every day, I get back up and say 2 words. I'm ready.
Aquaman, he was pumping you up.
Hero win. What?
Ow.
The
other side of the universe.
The universe.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
I'll prove it to you. I'll be a real superhero.
That was a nice little mix-up.
Don't cry, Sponge. Let's be super.
Aw, here lies Ocean Man. He was number 1.
Oh, what is it with ridiculously OP nautical
Wow.
themed cartoon characters on this show, Wiz?
This was an incredibly close fight. Gotcha! Obviously, Aquaman didn't have a snowball's chance in hell in defeating this little spongy bastich.
Where do we even start? With his bubbles and magic pencils, SpongeBob could basically do anything he wanted. There was no way Aquaman wouldn't get totally overwhelmed, especially with his much more limited arsenal. I can't think of a more lopsided matchup than someone whose main attack is throwing water against a sentient sea sponge.
Aquaman's only potential option was his telepathy, but as we've covered, it's far less powerful powerful than his comic counterpart. There's
Yeah.
no reason to believe SpongeBob wouldn't just ignore Arthur's commands.
Even if it was straight up mind control, SpongeBob's Krabby Patties straight up cancel mind control.
And really, nothing Aquaman had could overcome
Not to say he would
Bob's
necessarily
utterly
have
broken
access to them in that
regeneration.
moment,
The
but
little yellow dude has survived being completely disintegrated into dust and even erased from reality. All Aquaman can do is punch kind of hard, and even that's basically useless against Bob's squishy body.
Maybe
Yeah.
Aquaman could have found a way to dehydrate SpongeBob enough to keep him permanently incapacitated, like when he and Patrick were trapped in Shell City.
But that would require the fight to take place out of the water, which messes Aquaman up way harder than it does SpongeBob.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah,
also
death.
require the fight doesn't instantly end up with SpongeBob karate chopping Aquaman at 10 shit zillion times the speed of light, splattering his atoms against Saturn. Cause, yeah, remember when SpongeBob unraveled the universe? Considering the...
No, I'm sorry, I need to do this one. This is
Okay, you should do it.
fucking insane. Compared to SpongeBob's size, the string's width is about 192 micrometers. We can use that to find the volume of, say, 1 meter of string, and compare that to the volume of the entire observable universe. Considering it took SpongeBob about 5 seconds, he would have had to be pulling at 8.2 times 10 to the 78th power times faster than light.
oh,
That's as many times
I was
faster
not
than
thinking
light
of that
there
as
are
a speed
atoms
feat.
in the universe.
This is the fastest calculable speed feat in our show's history. And it belongs to SpongeBob SquarePants.
all
Do you
right.
think he could take on comic book Aquaman?
Have you been listening to anything I've been saying?
Good point. Because let's not forget,
Of course I didn't forget.
that string feat also destroyed the entire universe. And stuff like that is actually consistent.
SpongeBob is literally aware of the fourth wall and has rewritten the plot of his own story as he's living it. Screw
Oh.
the pencil or the bubbles. He can just will whatever he wants into existence from his imagination. He's a god, a yellow, spongy god of death.
And that's
Well.
why he beats Goku.
At least Arthur finally got to be a real hero. And at the end of the day, that's what matters.
Yeah, sure, whatever, pal. He's dead. Too bad for the King of the Seas. That sure was one sweet victory.
The winner is
Nice.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Claps
Our
for
god.
SpongeBob.
Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. We'll be jumping into the next matchup next week. But you can
Cool.
always get more Death Battle right now by clicking one of those boxes right over there and by downloading the battle music linked down below.
All right. Next time on Death Battle, we have. Oh yeah, Michael Myers versus Jason Voorhees. Yeah, cool. All right, well, let's talk about this episode. So I was right, yay me. But they straight up tell you, going into the fight, who's going to win. They have never done that, but have they ever done that before? I don't think they've ever done that before. This was the weirdest death battle, and I think that it might, as of now, be my favorite, in case anyone was curious. Because I love SpongeBob. A lot of the feats that they used were from episodes I'd seen. Not his strongest feats. Like, I hadn't seen the universe unwinding feat, that kind of deal. But, maybe I should say not the feats they used, but, like, a lot of the clips they used, I recognize. And so that was nice. Just talk about SpongeBob's cool, 'cause SpongeBob's cool and I'm a fan. I mean, he's not cool, but, you know. He's every bit as cool as Larry. And poor Aquaman. But like the fight itself, I thought was really well done. I loved them jumping around between like the different styles, like the still of Aquaman, but like with the moving realistic mouth. Like that was funny and just like so perfect for, you know, that era, or at least SpongeBob in particular, like that cartoon. And the dialogue between the two is great. You know, the voice acting, like it obviously wasn't Tom Kenny playing SpongeBob here. But they did a pretty good job. Like they definitely nailed a lot of the SpongeBob voice qualities. Like, was it perfect? No, but you know, I was content with it. The back and forth between the two was great. Again, I loved that SpongeBob messing up Aquaman's name. It was very reminiscent of Barnacle Boy when he was trying to go by Barnacle Man because he wanted respect, you know? So it was just very humorous in that regard. I liked SpongeBob turning it around when he was like, I used to be like that, you know? And then Aquaman just turns on him and stabs him with a trident. Is it still a trident if it has multiple prongs? Doesn't seem like it would be. Anyway, but you know what I'm talking about. And then, you know, they're like Time to prove him real hero, time to prove him real goofy goober, whatever. And then just the ending where it wasn't like, ha, I beat you, suck on it, you know. It was like SpongeBob was crying and Aquaman's fading away. It is like, you know, we're super friends. It was a good time. I really enjoyed it. And beyond that, I just felt like there was so much personality with Wiz and Boomstick in this one. And, you know, they always have personality because they are playing as characters, you know. But in this one, just with, like, Wiz, he had his own little character arc in this, like Boomstick pointed out. Like, blown away by what SpongeBob was capable of. And it's like, wait, no, let me explain this one. I need this, you know. It was just really amusing to me. So, yeah, I liked the analyses. I liked the fight itself, like the animation. I agree with the results based upon what they presented. And, you know, like, because I had gone into it thinking SpongeBob was going to win, but then as I went on, it was just like, yeah, definitely. And I had given Aquaman the speed feat too, but I was still just like, I don't know how we'd kill SpongeBob, and SpongeBob has all this stuff. So, yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. So I hope that you enjoyed this death battle too. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, whether you liked it, whether you disliked it, what you thought about this or that, etc., so on and so forth. And next time I actually do plan to watch Jason versus Michael. So I hope you're looking forward to that. But yeah, since I've, you know, caught up to this season, I think that what I'm currently planning to do is watch the new ones when they come out, and when we're waiting for a new one to come out, then watch you know, like the old ones and work my way up, as I have been doing in order, you know. But yeah, I really just wanted to do this because it's SpongeBob and I love him. But it seems like a good time to start that too, now that I'm actually on the current season. So yes, thank you all so much again for watching. And with that, we're calling it here. So have a good one, everybody.